Dave Dinkel for what should be, it's not going to happen, a 2-minute tip. If you're doing an A to B and B to C contract and you send the contract, your contract, to the original seller or through a listing agent, you send it and sign it. You initial the pages you're supposed to, fill in whatever clauses you think you can get away with, and the seller signs it, sends it back, you have an executed document. You now have equitable interest, you can now advertise the property. Not going to go through that again, we did it already. But let's say you advertise it and a buyer comes in and he says, send me a contract. Hey, not bad, you're in control of the contract. So you write up your contract and you send it to him, sign it. What? You sign it? Do not sign it. Whatever you do, don't sign the contract when you send it to your buyer, because he doesn't have to sign his end of it, and he will hold you hostage through the closing. Why do I say that? Because it's happened too many times. When you send him the contract signed, he doesn't have to sign it. Specifically, when you said he had to sign it, he can sign it later and date it so it was valid during the time period. Just because he doesn't come to closing, some of you don't get this. The reality of the law and the real world significantly different. And if you say to me, I'll sue him, you have a lot to learn. The only winners in a lawsuit typically are the attorneys for both sides. So if you sign it and he holds your feet to the fire by not coming to closing and not giving you a release of the property and never having put up an earnest money deposit, you're going to call him, or your attorney's going to call, and he's going to say, oh yeah, forgot about that, I decided not to close, but what do you want? I want a release of the lien, which is effectively the contract, release of the contract. And he says, not a problem, I have a doc prep fee, it's $5,000. Now, would you pay $5,000 to get that jerk to sign a release of something that he never did anyway? You may have to. Depends on how much profit you have in it. So, again, I probably am a lightning rod for things that go on around me because, hey, I want you to understand what the reality of the real world is versus, oh yeah, that's a legal issue, and just let the attorney take care of it. It may never get taken care of, and the attorney may not even bother. He doesn't want to know about it. While I'm on that subject and I'm cracking the 2-minute mark, if you are new in the business, people say to me, how do I get my professional team together? Go to your local REIS website and look on their vendor list and call the vendors. Do a little interview on the phone with the vendors. Now, in some cases with an attorney that's a closing attorney, if he has time to talk to you, it means he's not closing enough deals in a lot of places. Make sure he does real estate. If you call him up, one of the attorneys that my partners love to use, you call him up and he starts talking about DUI tickets. I mean, what does the guy do? Well, he goes on and on about other things he does. Yes, he does real estate, but he does everything else too. You want somebody that's dedicated to do what you need them to do when you need them to do it. In another video here, in another 2 minutes, tips, we're going to talk about how to bring sellers back to the closing table, because it's going to be a very common occurrence. But again, don't sign, let them come back. How much have I seen investors who do that professionally, they never intend to close. And I've seen them collect fees from $500 for the doc prep fee to $7,500. Don't let it happen to you.